Are you curious about the shocking truth behind a heartless husband and his neglected wife? Do you wonder if justice will ever be served for a woman with a dark past? We explore the gritty details of this controversial thesis and dive deep into the intriguing questions it poses. Will Marjorie face the consequences of her past actions, or if Jim's Townsend threats are merely empty words? Don't miss out on this thought-provoking analysis. Watch now. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Celeb Live channel. On this channel, we have discussed the scandalous past of Marjorie Steve Harvey's third wife more than once. And now, I have the hottest news to share with you. Marjorie's ex wants to put her behind bars, and these accusations are not idle. Jim Townsend has written an entire book about his life, and a considerable portion of it is dedicated to Marjorie and her criminal past. Let's delve into the complicated story of Steve Harvey and his current wife, Marjorie. Their relationship was founded on betrayal, and it seemed like they had a happily ever after. However, the truth is much more complicated than that. Jim Townsend, Marjorie's ex-husband, has come forward with incriminating evidence that could land her in jail for life. Despite successfully getting away with her past crimes, Marjorie may finally have to face the consequences of her actions.
Marjorie's background was linked to you.
Wow.
Steve and Marjorie's relationship has always been plagued by accusations of cheating, mistresses, abuse, and ties to drug kingpins. Jim's revelations only add to the drama. Marjorie's ex-husband claims to have evidence that explains how Marjorie managed to avoid jail time and why he is now determined to see her punished for her past actions. Before Marjorie and Steve became a Hollywood power couple, they were both married to other people. Steve has been candid about being a bad father and a terrible husband to his exes, Marcy and Mary. However, Marjorie's past is even more colorful and sordid. She was involved in drug dealing and may have even aided and abetted a crime, according to Jim's allegations. It remains to be seen what the future holds for Steve and Marjorie, but it's clear that their past may finally be catching up with them.
And I say because she and Jason, they was really on me because they thought it was all about throwing Marjorie under the bus.
Steve Harvey often shares the story of how he met Marjorie at one of his stand-up shows back in the 90s. He was immediately smitten and promised to marry her someday. However, it wasn't until 2007 that they finally tied the knot. By then, Marjorie had already been married twice to men who had much in common, including a fondness for the high life. After Steve lost touch with her, Marjorie married Jim Townsend, who was a notorious drug dealer. It seems that Marjorie didn't mind Jim's illicit activities as long as he could provide her with a lavish lifestyle. However, things took a turn for the worse when Jim was arrested for attempting to purchase 40 kilos of substance just 1 month after Marjorie became pregnant with their second child, Jason. Jim was eventually sentenced to life imprisonment by a judge. However, Jim claims that he took the fall to protect Marjorie as he didn't want his children to be left without a mother. According to Jim, Marjorie was just as guilty as he was, and the law enforcement officials had enough evidence to put her away. However, he signed a plea deal that included immunity for Marjorie and his brother Terry. As Jim explained to Radar Online, there was Marjorie and my brother Terry, and that was part of the plea bargain. Yes, they were involved. We cut a deal that they wouldn't indict them during this difficult time. Jim thought Marjorie was committed to standing by him, but he was wrong. Despite his willingness to go to jail for her and their children, Marjorie betrayed him by filing for divorce just 5 years into his life sentence. It was a painful blow, and it was a clear indication that Marjorie had moved on with her life. She started a relationship with Donald Woods, who was a known drug dealer and rumored to be the father of Lori Harvey.
You're thinking that you're actually in love with this person, but the entire time she's using you.
From an outsider's perspective, it seemed reasonable for Marjorie to move on after her husband's incarceration. However, Donald was not an ordinary guy from the block. He was also a significant player in the drug world, and according to rumors, he was Jim's cousin. It was shocking that Marjorie chose to enter into another world of crime, even though she knew the risks since she was so familiar with it. She remained with him until he was also imprisoned for 39 months for drug-related offenses. It was not until she married Steve that she could leave the ex-convict's wife tag behind. In 2017, Jim was finally released from prison after serving 26 years. And it was all thanks to Morgan, who had hired a top-notch lawyer that secured him a pardon from President Barack Obama in the 11th hour. Now, a free man, Jim has a lot to say, and one of the people he has a lot to say about is Marjorie. According to Jim, Marjorie owes him a lot for leaving and betraying him. He claims that there were illegal business dealings that only he and Marjorie knew about, and that the feds had dirt on her. Jim wrote a tell-all book, and he seems determined to air all of Marjorie's dirty laundry. I'm pouring my heart out. No one knows what happened but me and Marjorie, he said. It seems that Steve, Marjorie's current husband, is feeling the heat too. When news of Jim's book first broke, rumors started circulating that Steve was planning to divorce Marjorie. According to some sources, Steve was allegedly selling off some of his properties so that he wouldn't have another messy divorce like the one he had with Mary, who ended up suing him for over $60 million. And let's face it, Steve has a history of running away when things get tough. He even abandoned his own children. It remains to be seen what will happen with Marjorie and Steve's marriage. But one thing is for sure, Jim is out for blood, and he doesn't care who gets caught in the crossfire. I have no allegiance to Marjorie. She showed her hand. I'm going to tell my story. It don't matter if she knows about it anyway, he said. However, there are fans who are skeptical about the rumors of Steve planning to divorce Marjorie. One user commented, "I don't think Steve would leave Marjorie. He chased after her for years, and he's crazy about her. Besides, Marjorie is done with the drug scene now that she's financially secured by Steve's wealth." Another user added, "Steve will do anything to keep his arm candy. He'll simp for her until the end." It's not hard to see why some fans might hold this view, given Steve and Marjorie's tumultuous history. They first started their affair while Steve was still married, and their connection was facilitated through Big Boom, Steve's bodyguard. While Big Boom had a history with Marjorie as well, having previously worked as a pimp connecting wealthy men with escorts, Steve didn't seem to mind and continued to pursue Marjorie. When Steve's then wife, Mary, discovered the affair, he abandoned her and their life together to start a new one with Marjorie in an apartment that he originally shared with Mary. There are some fans who are skeptical of Jim's motives in coming forward with this information about Marjorie, believing that he may only be seeking attention or trying to undermine her success out of jealousy. As one fan put it, jealousy always shows itself up. Only the envious and those lacking would bring up a person's past. It's possible that Jim is using this information as a way to capitalize on Marjorie's success and gain attention for himself. However, the content of Jim's book suggests that his threats may be serious. One passage reads, "The sight of Morgan always brought joy to my heart. She was truly the apple of my eye and the only reason I hadn't killed her mother." This is a disturbing revelation, and it's understandable that fans are concerned about the potential consequences of Jim's actions. Some fans believe that if Jim is successful in smearing Marjorie's reputation, it could be karma for Steve's past behavior towards his exes, one fan remarked. This could end up being karma for Steve for what he did to his wife, for Marjorie. It remains to be seen how this situation will play out, but it's clear that there are many fans who are invested in the outcome. Recent revelations have surfaced indicating that Steve not only cheated on Marcy multiple times, but also abandoned her while she was pregnant with Broderick, their child. To make matters worse, he refused to provide any financial support for his child and didn't bother to pay child support. This revelation shows that Steve's actions were not only morally wrong, but also legally wrong. It's concerning to see how he didn't take any responsibility for his actions and left Marcy and his child to fend for themselves. Another angle to consider in this scandal is the role of social media. While it's true that Jim's claims about Marjorie's past may not be new, the fact that he's using social media platforms like Instagram to share his story is amplifying the impact. With millions of followers and the ability to reach people all over the world, Jim's accusations have the potential to cause significant damage to Marjorie's reputation and business ventures. And with Steve's own controversial past, the couple may find it difficult to weather the storm that is brewing.
She was getting drugs, keys, and giving it to her husband, Donnell.
However, it's important to note that there are also fans who are skeptical of Jim's claims and believe that he is simply trying to capitalize on Marjorie's success. Some have even gone as far as to suggest that he may be trying to extort money from her or Steve in exchange for his silence. Regardless of the truth behind Jim's allegations, this scandal serves as a reminder of the power of social media and the potential consequences that can arise from past actions.
But the day after she married Steve Harvey, her phone cut off.
That's it for today's video on the Marjorie, Jim, and Steve scandal. What do you think about this whole situation? Do you believe Jim's claims, or do you think he's just doing this for attention? And what about Steve's past behavior towards his exes? Do you think it's catching up to him now? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for watching.